potholes. You know, we try to build some playgrounds every once in a while, and we do have a robust economic development plan. How do I connect that with what your needs are? So if you take a look at what's behind me or in front of you, and I draw your attention to actually hiring difficulties. This was done by NTAP, the Niagara Training and Adjustment Board. Did this very in-depth research during the summer and fall of 2007. It came out in January of 2008. So it's very current data. And they tried to get a sense of what are the labor issues that Niagara is facing and what is it that we have to do to actually turn that situation around. And if you take a look at the survey results on the bottom left-hand corner, overwhelming majority of individuals, business communities, said we're going to be facing difficulties when it comes to hiring individuals to support our businesses and help us reach our goals. And the reason why I'm talking about this when it comes to labor issues is because there is no need for another study. There is no need for us to create another task force or think tank. The plan is in place. And you may notice also that I've highlighted the Chamber of Commerce. I think there's about 7 or 8 goals that they've identified. I've identified the 3 that I think relate most to the Chamber members, but also you may notice that there is no lead partner on several of these. And I'll just give you a couple of highlights so you can get a sense of what's out there. And truly, my expectation is that the Chamber of Commerce will step forward and demonstrate some leadership on this. It really is an opportunity for you to not only work together and help build a better labor base for Niagara, but at the same time, be influential, have a voice at the table. The first one talked about creating a system that supports training opportunities between employers and either the sector or topic to increase training needs and to reduce some of the issues we're facing. So, okay, we know we need to do that. We need to have better linkages. One of the partners that were identified was the Chamber of Commerce. They can play a role in helping articulate the stat that says we're having a hard time finding people. What does that mean? Because I'm talking to employers when we do our corporate college program, and they're telling us that they're having a hard time also. Yet I've got this other voice in the community saying, I can't find a job. So there is this disconnect between the skill set that we have in Welland and the skill set that our employers are looking for, and how do we actually put that together? Well, I think the business community has to take a step forward and help articulate that and try to help work with those post-secondary and training institutions to help create that link. I think the opportunity is there for us. We know what we have to do. The 5th goal that was up there talked about research and providing employers with workplace-friendly policies and practices for an aging workforce. And this is one where I think there is a best practice occurring in the Welland Chamber of Commerce. A partnership with the Job Gym, John Howard Society, and the Chamber of Commerce with their Lunch and Learn series. It's something that you can take elsewhere in the community. Also, you may want to reflect on if we've already got a model and it seems to be working, let's start measuring what the turnout is it meeting expectations, trying to identify whether there's additional information that we can provide, and then let's talk about those individuals in our community that seem to be displaced. I've said this many times, and Mayor Salsi has joined me in this, and I know the chairman, he took that message to Toronto over the past 2 days. Good things are happening in Niagara. Very good things are happening in Welland. But we do have a population, and they're typically men in their 40s and 50s who have been displaced from manufacturing positions that don't have either the high school education or the proper training to make that transition to the new economy. So as much as we are growing and we have evolved to the new economy, we have this group that seems to be displaced. And typically they're the single breadwinners. The wife goes back to work, not making the same income, trying to put kids through education. They are having a difficult time. So we have to take some of the, I think, best practices that the Welland Chamber of Commerce has and say, how do we apply it now to within this context of that aging workforce that seems to be displaced right now in our community. The last one has to do with convening service sector employers from emerging sectors, and that's something I'm going to be talking about because one of the things you noticed was the image of Niagara. That threw me off a bit, that the Welland Chamber of Commerce membership was so concerned about the image of Niagara, and I'll talk about that. But one of the things in this slide, in this issue, is that they started to identify those new growth areas that will move Niagara forward. We're not abandoning our strong tradition in manufacturing, but we are embracing those new economy jobs that are out there. And again, it goes through present findings that will be communicated with recommendations for continued methods of dialogue. You take a look at it all, there is not a lead partner. I can just imagine the hard work, right, Trudy? The hard work that went into doing this, to pull this all together. And I think the time has come for some of those people that we've identified to step forward and say, you know what, we will lend a hand. We will help kind of carry this. So the timelines are 2008, 2009. If there is a concern by the membership of the Welland Chamber of Commerce, now is the time to get engaged. Now is the time to take the plan that exists, and participate. And I think through your Chamber of Commerce president and executive director, they will find the way to actually access this system and address your needs. No need to do the research. Some fantastic research is done by NTAB. It's just a matter of taking that and going to the implementation side of the equation. The next one I want to talk about is infrastructure. And I had originally had a plan, and you may see before you, I've listed all the above ground issues that we're facing as a municipality. Everything from roads to sidewalks to parks to arenas. And then I talked about the underground work. And one of the good news stories that I believe is there, and it doesn't always seem to grab everybody's attention. And again, I'm trying to understand why would the Chamber of Commerce membership be so curious about infrastructure. I understand the transportation side, and that's on the list, and I'll be dealing with, but just holistically, infrastructure. Well, just to give you some confidence about our water and sewer rates, because that definitely relates to your operating costs. The city of Welland has been very aggressive in trying to meet its infrastructure needs. And one of the things that we have done, we tried to do in 2007 and we were unsuccessful, we being my senior manager team, myself, is trying to build all of the infrastructure work right into the rates. And you may recall last year, a bit of an outcry because our water rates were going to go up dramatically. So we took a step forward, not all the way. Well, this year we took another step forward. And there's a formula for everything, the number of kilometers you have, the age of the system, what the replacement costs, how much you should be investing in water and sewer every year. Hovers around $4.1 million. This year, passing this budget, we have created a plan. So we will be putting $4.1 million into our water and sewer system till 2013. And you may say, why? How did we do it? We didn't really dramatically increase the rates. Well, this is where the federal government and the federal gas tax, we need as municipalities to say thank you. You know, that funding, what we've done is we've targeted that funding to water and sewer to stabilize the rates and to guarantee that we're going to have $4.1 million of underground work being done. That was extended from 2011 to 2013, and council has adopted that principle. So you will see the work when it comes to water and sewer from now until 2013 without dramatic shifts in the water rate. Yes, there will be little spikes because we don't know how much people are going to conserve, we don't know how much rainfall we're going to have, we don't know how much water is going to go to the treatment plant that should have been diverted to the Welland River because of the rainwater. And we're working on that project. Thankfully, Commissioner Brothers is here at Public Works in cooperation with the region. But at least you can count on the fact that the work's getting done like it's supposed to until 2013. But I want to bring your attention to an article in today's paper. Findings not surprising, Brock researchers. Pair find overweight and obese children as young as 9 showing evidence of heart disease. And I say this, and I'm not saying because he's here, even though he was criticized in a letter to the editor in the paper this week, Councillor Sharp was right. And I'll read it to you. This is right from the article. And the research was done by Brock University researchers. He and his crew have measured the blood pressure of some 1,933 students from across Niagara statistics. Although he only has preliminary data, he has found a correlation between income and blood pressure. Basically, the lower the family income, the higher measure of blood pressure in children. That also has a negative impact on health. Wade says the psychological findings should not be all that surprising when anyone sits back and think about their community with a critical eye. Ask yourself, where are the good parks? Where are the nice walking paths? And who are more likely to use them? Where are the streets not as safe? Our policymakers are really failing the people who need them the most. The reason for that